everyone. Welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Batman.
No, you're not. I'm Chad Man. You're Ted Pete.
I'm Joe Surratt, but I just want to let the audience know that we've tried this 3 times. Ted's clearly been out drinking last night.
No.
So this has been a little bit of a struggle. And Chad's in charge of recording, so this has been a disaster.
It's not been a normal.
We've been trying to record for 15 minutes now and not able to not laugh. So welcome to the show. Jeez.
Teddy's at like his first conference this week. At any of our first real conference, I think, right? I mean, I don't think I've been the one.
True story. Yeah, I'm in Nashville at UCT, and today's the last day of the show, and it's 8:11 a.m. right here, right now. I got to be here at 9:30. And
you made that sound like it's so early.
When you guys used to schedule meetings at 8:00 and I was in California.
The L10 on Fridays at 7.
Yeah, it was 4:00 in the morning. That was amazing. Thanks for that. I don't want to hear you complain.
I was there for several of those meetings in California at that time. So
how's the show? Is it how's the COVID show? Is everything good?
So being honest, the classes, the training that I'm going through, amazing. There's several of them where I was just like, wow, man, I needed this. I needed to learn this and whatnot. The show was a little underwhelming as far as like exhibitors and whatnot, but UCT, they did a tremendous job of like promoting it. All right. So looking at it, I was like, oh man, we're going to have 400,000 people here.
Yeah, that's
a little underwhelming on the show side, but as far as the quality of the vendors, tremendous.
How many people do you think are there?
200.
No. God, you put me on the spot. I don't know.
Just say you could have said 12. Like I
ballpark it. We'll
14.
fact check you later.
No. There's something like 150, 200 vendors.
Okay. There's usually like.
Are you at the Gaylord?
I think.
Am I? No, I'm not at the Gaylord.
It's got to be downtown.
I'm at the Hampton.
No, is the show at the Gaylord?
No, it's at the Music City Center.
Oh, gotcha.
Sweet. Well, that's kind of cool.
It was good though. It was good. On a bright note, I did my job, and I recruited a bunch of people to come on our show.
Impressed.
Oh, you got people coming on the show?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I do.
Wait,
I haven't even told you guys.
You want to put that out there?
Send me an email.
Yeah. I'm that confident.
I don't want to pass up to.
I told them all you were going to be bugging them anyway.
Okay, that's probably true. I'll get to you eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think Chad's intro got enough credit. That was pretty sweet. That Batman.
I didn't do anything except this.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Chad, I realized this though as I got Snapchat this week to like discuss with because my children are on it now, so I use it with them.
I don't understand it at all. I don't talk to anybody on it.
All your filters are just Snapchat
that's
filters.
What this is.
We know that.
Yeah, but
I didn't know that. I've been the old man. I've been dying using the old man.
Listen, anything at the message, like somebody sent me a message on there, and then I go to look at it again, and it's gone, like it never existed, and it just I don't remember things well as it is.
I don't know if mine still works.
Don't touch it; you're gonna break it.
I just do this one.
No, it's gone off the rails.
No.
Off the rails.
Oh boy.
So who we got this week? Wait. What are we gonna talk about? We gonna talk about anything? Or are we done with this? We usually talk about the weekend. It's Thursday. So what are you guys doing this weekend?
I've been here since Saturday.
Ooh. What are you doing this weekend, Joe? We have
Oh yeah, I didn't do that because it was a preemptive strike.
I know, but it's a good.
Our one of our sales reps, Adam Clary, has been on the show. Adam's getting married this weekend, actually tomorrow, Friday, and I get to be in the wedding, which I
thought he was brighter than that personally.
I'm quite a bit younger than Adam, like a decade, and so I'm
you mean wait, whoa, you mean
you're not? You mean older? He's younger than you.
What did I say?
You said you were a decade younger than
you
Adam.
Said you're
he's a decade younger than me. No. Sorry, I did not mean that, Ace. Sorry. But so all the groomsmen are younger, so it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
You're gonna last for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be in bed by about 8:30. Not much different than my normal 9 o'clock, so no big deal.
It was nice of you to get a haircut for the wedding. So
I did, and I got this new situation where, like my haircut lady girl, Tori is her name. Tori, I know you don't watch this show, but
a lot of free ads today. Huh?
Yeah, Tori, I know you don't watch this show, but she used to work at like a salon and she quit. So now, like, I was like, you guys still have to cut my hair. Like, you're not just quitting that. So now she has like she has this appointment book that you can go online and sign up, and now she just comes to my house and cuts my hair, which is the greatest deal of all time. And it doesn't cost me any more money.
See, that's amazing. That's like the guy I found to do my oil changes in my driveway. There's two things: haircuts and oil changes. They're two things.
Yeah, look, I'm trying to never leave. Like, that's my thing. If I can get a doctor to come to the house, it's just over with.
Probably can.
No kidding. But yeah, that's my week.
What about
you guys?
I got to give you a little ration, Joe. Your hair is starting to look like mine. Just on the side.
No, it's not. It's just when it's super short, it looks like that. I mean, it's always the same color. It's just when it's really short.
You just get the Just for Men like I used on my beard from the side of your head.
Yeah, what is up with your beard? It looks like.
Yeah, why is it so dark?
I think it's the filter.
I'm Batman.
You got some shoe polish on there? What is the old school way? Man, some shoe
polish. All right, so what do we have this week? Jim.
Wait a minute. What are you guys doing? You can't just ask me and not tell me.
You cheated up. I don't know what I'm doing. Zoe is lacrosse again. Like
Chad hasn't been home. Chad hasn't been home in 2 weeks. He's been traveling
like 6 months.
You can see his background right now. He's also at a.
Feels like I've been in 8 months somewhere.
I do want to wait a minute. I do want to give you.
We have a lacrosse tournament home for Zoe this weekend, so that's pretty much just going to soak up our entire weekend. And one of our friends is probably coming to Columbus this weekend, and Joe knows who it is. Joe Smaz's coming to town. So
cool.
Logan lived with 2 years ago, so that should be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to see him, that should be good.
That's great.
Ted, you gonna make it home or what?
Ted's not going home.
No, I'm not. No, honestly, I fly from here to West Virginia to the Marine Corps compound that we have there because we're having a Marine Corps reunion for the first time in 15 years.
That's awesome.
About 80 to 85 guys I served with in Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines are going to meet up in West Virginia and
get arrested.
How do you pick West Virginia?
Not get arrested. We pick West Virginia because that's where our platoon sergeant and our gunny live. And we knew that if, we're getting together, we're like, we got to do this in the middle of the woods.
It's the lowest.
Where there's nobody else around.
You're going to be feeling really good after next week.
No, I'm not. No.
You're going to look like you ate. We actually, we need to record the day you get back. I want to see what you look like.
You're going right from there, though, to somewhere else, aren't you?
I'm going right from there. I'm coming home and I drive to the Adirondacks. I pick up my camper and I drive to the Adirondacks. And then from there, I go right to Philadelphia for a basketball tournament. And from there, I go right to Distribution Contractors Association.
And I'm trying to get haircuts at home.
The last time on July 9th.
And Joe's.
And I'm over here trying to get haircuts. Getting haircuts at home, so I don't have to leave the house. God bless. Anyways, wow, that's awesome.
July 9th was the last bet I slept at home.
You're gonna be pretty exhausted after the end of this month, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how aged you look.
I'm trying to pull up my Snapchat filter here so I can show you.
It looks like 10 years. Sorry. My bad.
So rude. So tell us about Jim Kunkle, Chad.
Yeah.
Wow, that just threw me off. I wasn't ready for that. So our guest this week is Jim Kunkle. Jim spent about 9 years with SSPC, which is the Society of I shouldn't have done it. Protective Coatings. I can't remember now off the top of my head.
Isn't it the secret? Is it the Secret Society of Protective?
It doesn't. Here's the best. Secret Society of Protective Coating System.
Yeah.
The better part is I don't have to remember it anymore because it has become AMP along with NACE. Jim, for the past 2 or 3 years, has just really been a social media kind of icon as well. Just putting information out there, doing a lot of educational things. And now he's moved into his new show, which is called Build Out, which is more of like a personal health development. He did a mental health thing yesterday on his live, which was really cool.
We've been on it. He's a phenomenal guy, really smart. I mean, just really technical, blows our show away as far as the technical stuff. You got like real good graphics and video.
What'd you do? Wow, that's awesome. So just
is that when you were in the Marines?
That was yesterday. Today.
Man. That's a good one. So Yeah, he's essentially business development manager now for AMP, and he's just a lot of fun to talk to, and a lot of fun to talk to. What'd you say?
Then why don't we talk to him?
Oh, that's a good idea. Ted?
So without further ado, welcome to the show, Mr. Jim Kunkle.
Oh, I'm supposed to hit stop now, huh? Hello, Jim, and welcome to Connections for Life. How you doing, sir?
Real good, Ted. Thank you for having me. Joe, Chad, nice to see you
What's
again.
going on, Jim? Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Hey, I just want to comment. That is the biggest microphone ever. I just noticed, like, look how big. Look at as big as your head. I know it's
That's just because of where it is. It's like when you hold up the fish. It's
I
like
know,
the fish thing.
It's just funny. I know this bottle of water looks huge now, right? So I got it. But it just looked funny.
Wow.
Anyway, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Real good, gentlemen.
Good. Thanks for coming on our show after you had us on yours. We get to flip the script on you a little bit and interview you now. So let's just get going. We'll jump right into it. Why don't you tell everybody, Jim, how you got started in the industry, and we'll kind of start there.
Well, my background, more recent here in the last 10 years, has been in the corrosion and coatings industry. Back before 2010, I worked with a steel service center here in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania region. And part of the operation had a fabrication operation. We were doing a lot of work related to mining and also with fracking. And the cool thing with having a fabrication unit, we also had a 750-foot powder coat line. So I got involved in not only the fabrication side, but running powder coat. And during that time, I worked for the Steel Service Center. I started really looking for other opportunities in coatings industry. And luckily, the Society for Protective Coatings, or SSPC, as it was known in the industry, was looking for a business development manager. And I took the opportunity and jumped over in 2013 with the association, working related to getting their standards, the qualification programs for contractors and blast and paint shops, and also the certifications for craft workers and coatings inspectors, working to get that into specs with the owners and asset owners out there, not only here in the States but globally as well.
I think it's pretty interesting that you were lucky enough that SSPC was in Pittsburgh too, right? I mean, I've driven past that building, Joe's probably driven past it 100 times. I've probably been past it 300 times, but that's kind of a small world thing, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it was just a stroke of luck. And the thing was funny about it, a friend of mine who worked in the coatings industry, working with PPG, said, I know you're looking, why don't you try Craigslist? And I'm thinking, well, Craigslist, that's where you go to, date people and
or buy a car,
buy you stuff. And
I don't know what you do on Craigslist.
And yeah, and SSPC, that's where they would advertise for job postings. And it was absolutely crazy, but I applied for it and then started interviewing. And within, I think it was like 3 weeks from the time I gave my application through Craigslist, I got hired by the association. So.
Wow. I have to say that I have to thank you for, in advance of our show today, sending out what all the acronyms meant so that I would have an understanding. I'm going to share them with some of our audience right now, just so that they're aware of it as well, if there's anybody like me in it. So the SSPC stands for the Society for Protective Coatings, and AMP stands for Association of Materials Protection and Performance. So just want to put that out there for our viewers' pleasure.
Good call.
And yeah, good call. And the other thing that everybody kind of needs to know in that whole arena is that within the last 6 months this year, that NACE and SSPC have combined to become AMP. So NACE is the National Association of Corrosion. Wow, we are just a plethora of acronyms today.
Yeah,
love it.
Acronym
Central.
What NACE stands for, because I don't have that on my list either.
National Association of Corrosion Engineers.
Boom.
I'm certified there, believe it or not. Somebody gave that piece of paper.
The crazy thing is NACE International started off predominantly in the oil and gas industry in Houston back in the over like 75 years ago. SSPC just celebrated before the merger its 70th anniversary. So both organizations, have a lot of combined history, both in corrosion and coatings.
That's wild. So I guess my question, and you kind of talked a little bit about it in your first answer, but as you're your newest title of Manager of Business Development for Accreditation Certificate. What is that? What do you do every day? I mean, what does your day-to-day look like? I know you mentioned a couple things, but I think it's a little more in depth than what you glanced over.
Yeah. So where my focus is in two areas regarding AMP is the contractor accreditations, and then the contractor accreditations or qualification procedures for the field contractors that work on marine industrial structures, blast and paint shops, coating inspection firms, and then there's also some specialties. If the contractor does thermal spray or metallizing, if they do concrete coatings, if they do work in, let's say, a nuclear power facility, there are accreditations for that. In addition to that, AMP has inspector certification, contractor craft worker certification for the abrasive blasters, coating applicators, the water jetters, the thermal spray people, all that type of craft worker work needs to be trained and certified. So I work directly with the owners and asset owners out there in the specification firms and engineering firms to literally get our programs into job specifications, project requirements, and then the overall specification for the owner itself.
I think it's great. I think it's crazy how you hit so many different industries of the corrosion world without even really having to think about the pipeline industry, which is our major focus. I think that's pretty interesting and pretty neat. You get to see those different things.
Definitely. I mean, our infrastructure, it's huge. I mean, we're dealing with water, wastewater, power generation, power transmission. We've got bridge and highway structures. We've got pipelines. We've got oil refineries. We've got marine structures, shipping. So when you think about it, corrosion impacts literally every aspect of our daily lives. And as our infrastructure ages, it's going to succumb to corrosion if we don't deal with it. And that's where really mitigation of corrosion comes into play with cathodic protection. And then coating application is a predominant way of protecting steel and other substrates.
Is there one industry you prefer?
Coatings are more of my passion. And I think the reason for that is because there's so much interaction with not only dealing with the cathodic people. So when you think about corrosion protection, it's all the above. It's going to be a combination of coatings, different applications, you know what I mean? And also cathodic protection. But you will see a lot of it focused heavily on steel structures being painted. And then in addition to that, they will have some level of cathodic protection or mitigation of corrosion through other methods.
Cool. Now I'm going to go down a wormhole, Joe. I'm sorry, but do they have on that bridge structure like that? What other mediation can they do other than paint? Atmospheric. I know that. I'm sorry, went down. Sorry, Teddy, I killed it.
You can also do so. It would get a little bit obviously expensive. You're not going to do a whole bridge, although in the UK there was a major bridge done with metallizing or thermal spray. Wow. Thermal spray, you're literally taking aluminum or a combination of metals and basically just splattering it at high velocity and temperature. Even it's done cold spray as well, where it's put onto the steel structure, but it can also be put on concrete and other substrates as well. In some environments where you're dealing with salt water, to protect the rebar, they might put thermal spray and make it a cathodic protection by tying it to the rebar and using the thermal spray as a sacrificial metal or a sacrificial application.
I had no idea. That's pretty neat.
It sounds really expensive.
It can be, but think about it. If you're able to mitigate the corrosion of that rebar, you could take that concrete bridge, because you're dealing with a lot of times you're dealing with rebar, but also too, you're dealing with where you have high tension wire that literally holds the structure up. So if you could take the life of that bridge and extend it from, let's say, 40 to 50 years to 75 to 100 years, that's going to save you a lot of money.
That's true. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty neat. No idea. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And because Ted and I don't know really what you're talking about because we don't exist in the corrosion world, I want to talk about Build Out with Jim Kunkle. We can see it up in the corner there. Kind of your new show that you started recently. We had the pleasure of being on there. I think it's interesting because Teddy had COVID, but the Rona. He's rebounded nicely, so here we are. But I just want to talk about your show, your guests. What made you basically come up with the concept, who you have on, and what you're trying to achieve by working with different influencers, and then obviously being an influencer yourself in the industry. A little bit more about that in your program, because I think it's pretty cool, and I want to definitely pump your tires a little bit on that for people that haven't seen it.
Oh, definitely. What really was a catalyst starting me off in producing content, and I have a YouTube channel full of corrosion and coatings content, interviews, and other type of lessons and things like that that people could check out under Jim Kunkle. If you go to YouTube and search under Jim Kunkle. When I first really started looking at getting involved in content creation, a friend of mine through LinkedIn, Tats, who has Tats Talks, really started talking with him, and he said, you're very passionate about coatings and corrosion, you should do content. And so I started doing it, and through the process of doing that coatings and corrosion content, and now currently working with AMP, currently working on a new series called Amplify that will cover those topics. But in that process, LinkedIn has always been my game, and I'm in business development. I love professional development. I've taken things such as Sandler selling systems training. So I've got a lot of background knowledge and experience, but also have great connections that are, those people are the influencers. They're the know everything about professional development and other topics. So what I said was, I could take a lot of this content, take a lot of these contacts, take a lot of this opportunity through LinkedIn and other media sites to help build out people's professional brand, their professional development, and other things. And so that's where Build Out was born from.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, we got to come on the show early on, and we appreciate the opportunity to do that. It was funny for me, for you to refer to us as influencers, right? I was like, influence what? I mean, we don't feel that way. This is just something fun that we started doing, and I can't believe that it's grown to what it's grown into. I imagine you must feel the same. I think when you first started, you were probably like, we'll see where this ends up. And then we ended up with the pandemic, and you went from kind of like down here to up here. And now it's the ideas and the things that you have are probably rattling around in your head a lot. I just want to talk about what do you see your show? I mean, what's the next evolution, and what do you want to be a year from now? What are you thinking about?
Sure. What's really a great motivator, every Wednesday at noon, I do a live stream for Build Out. Great topics and really the subject matter and focuses on different industries. So it's not just focused on coatings and corrosion. The direct messages that I get, the responses I get from people, and they're like, I really found a lot of value from what you're putting out there. Keep it up, keep doing it. And that's really what motivates me. And the other thing too is, again, like I say, I think it comes down to giving back to a younger generation, giving back to my industries, giving back to my connections that I have on LinkedIn. And so Build Out is that great opportunity for me to interface and also, let's say, engage my connections, industries, and even more of a larger audience by offering this new content. And so, the focus, like I say, is on the professional development, business development, all the improvement stuff that a person can go through. But also too, you're going to see some future stuff coming out from Build Out that'll focus on the aspects of, for example, how about mindfulness? How about wellness? How about the health and sanity? We came out of lockdowns, and there were a lot of people suffering right now. People had their careers upended. People could not travel. People could not see their friends and family. And it's really taken a toll on not only here in America, but globally as well. As we're pulling out of this, this is an opportunity for all of us to kind of share how we feel, or if we are suffering inside, not to hold it inside, but to talk about it. So I'm real excited about the potential for Build Out to be much more than just the professional development, business development, branding, and social media stuff that it currently is.
Awesome. I think that is
I love the vision.
Such a great point to hit, and oftentimes it's glanced over, I'll say, unfortunately, that there are side effects and repercussions from this pandemic that could not have been foreseen. and people are now having to adjust to it. Like we talked about it in the pre-show here, I guess a little bit to some extent of like, hey, do you know how normal it's become for you to be able to see the personal aspects of your professional interactions lives? You're in my home right now.
We've gotten, I mean, I think anybody we've had meetings with, whether they're customers, I almost feel like I've made more of a connection, as stupid as that sounds, because you still need that physical portion. Joe and I talk about that all the time, but I've made some connections with people because their kids ran into the room while they were on a meeting with me. Like those, so that's really cool, Jim. I think that's something really,
definitely.
I mean, that's really giving back. That's not giving back to just the industry. That's really giving back to humanity. And that's something to be said about that.
And there's one other person too that I want to also give credit to for really helping me kind of, let's say, break out and to do things. I'm very good friends with Sarge Summers. From he deals, obviously he runs the oil field connections. And, Sarge is the type of person who very motivational, very spiritual, but I've had a lot of great conversations with him right as we went into the pandemic, through the pandemic. And then, currently, as he's, dealing with the changes in his life that he's had, but also currently to see him so refocused back onto the oil and gas industry, and then also too for oil field connections and getting out there and speaking. He is quite a motivational person for not only myself, but a lot of other people.
He does a ton on LinkedIn. I follow him on LinkedIn. He does a ton. Maybe we'll try and grab his. You ever been on your show, Jim?
He has. When I was doing on the coatings and corrosion side, there was a video of me talking with him.
We're going to hunt him down then.
On the YouTube channel, yeah.
So I'm going to kind of steal the last question. I'm going to steal from you, because it was one of my favorite questions that you asked Joe and I when we were on. If you were starting this out today, or you had somebody you knew starting it out today, what's the piece of advice you would give them just to start their own YouTube channel and all the things you've done? What is it?
We covered this when we had our live stream 2 weeks ago. It really comes down to it. You have to be brave. And the thing about it is don't fear anything. Just do it. And I think Joe, I don't know if Joe said that or if Chad said that, just do it. Kind of steal that branding. It's really that's what it is.
Chad, flash the swoosh up in the corner so we get some light.
And the other thing too, I tell people who ask me, and there are people that do ask me about, how do you do it? Could you help me? And I tell people, go back on my YouTube channel, go back to December, I think it was December of 2019 or whenever the first videos were coming out. And I was doing it on Skype at the time. Look how bad I was.
We tell people that a lot. You go back and watch our first 8 to 10 episodes and you're like, those aren't even the same people.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, with live streaming, if you watch some of the earlier with Heidi Brooks, you watch some of the first live streams I did with Heidi on coatings and corrosion topics versus build out, it's a night and day difference. And what it is, it just comes down to it. You do it, just do it. You get experience, and then you say, well, I could do better. I can do better. And then feedback from people. Hey, Jim, you ought to do this or you do that. And again, any type of feedback I get, if it's positive, if it's negative, if it's indifferent, I want that because 100%. It helps me become a better person.
Oh, you said such a great statement there. Feedback in your personal, your professional, and your spiritual life is a necessary point to
I don't know. I don't really ever want anybody to tell me anything.
No. That's the reality of it. That's too hard of a point that people don't address at certain times. If you ask someone for feedback, whatever they tell you, the only proper response, in my opinion, is thanks. That's it.
And also be prepared. Don't have such ego. I think that's one of the things that people have such big egos and they can't see past their own noses,
And Joe's known for being the one where you go, how'd he do? And Joe's like, that was terrible.
I have no problem telling you if it was terrible. I don't feel the necessity to lie to people. Honestly, I think
brutally honest is a trait that's needed in our society. Not everyone can have that trait because then there wouldn't be unique things like Joe. And
why does it
unique things? And you're a thing.
I just want to say, I think one of the things that's awesome is, and I've said this before, and I'll probably say it 1,000 more times, is that I really love the fact that yourself and Jim and James and Russell Treat and all the other people that are out there doing things. Like, we don't look at each other in any way, shape, or form as competition. We look at each other as peers and people that we can all learn from. And I love the fact that we've been able to form a friendship with you and other people as well, but specifically you today because you're on the program, and we've never actually met in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know if I'm 6'6", I'm not, or if I'm 5'2", I'm also not. But that's just it, you know, and I think it's awesome that we've been able to support and help each other's programs and have suggestions and have an open dialogue to help all of us grow and be successful. And I just want to challenge everybody that's out there that's fans of our show or Jim and James or Jim's programs, whether it be the Corrosion Talks or the Build Out or soon Amplify. You know, reach out to us, ask us questions. If you want to be involved, like we're open books, and we want everybody to be successful and more and make our industry just that much better and stronger. So with that being said, man, I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait to actually have a beer with you, sit down and shake your hand. You've been a really big inspiration for us in a lot of different ways. I love what you're doing. Don't give up, keep going, and we're really excited about what you guys got, what you have going forward. I think what you've taken the conceptual idea of just having a show and then changed it into a professional development thing is awesome. Really excited for that, and very appreciative that you're for this industry. We're happy to be friends with you.
Excellent. Where do I send a check?
To me.
To Joe. Yeah. We're gonna rotate. No, we'll rotate. Joe can have the first one. I don't think Jim's gonna.
Yeah, I get the residual the first one. No, there's no check. Unfortunately, we don't make any money doing this. So, but no, it's awesome, and I just hope that you know, you get to where you were going with your show. I know you will. It's just exciting to watch that transition, and
it's fun.
I think the humanity of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish is really, really important and unique, and that's cool.
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody that's watching, you know, get involved. We need more content creation. LinkedIn needs it. I don't have any inside baseball, but you know, conversations I've had with, you know, staff that work, you know, with LinkedIn, obviously, through, you know, Microsoft and everything. There are a lot of plans related to future content, and really looking to take LinkedIn to a newer level when it comes to interaction with its members, and then growing it. So there's still a lot of room for people to create content, live streams, just putting video out there, publishing things. Get involved, do it. Help your industry, support your friends, and really help that next generation understand what do you do and why you're still doing it and why you're passionate for it and why they should be too.
And you know what? It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It is fun.
We have fun doing this. So
especially when you go out and someone, you might be at a conference or, you know, you'll be on a call and, hey, you're that guy on LinkedIn. I've actually had that happen a couple of times. It's not always, but it's kind of weird when it happens. It's like, oh yeah, you know.
We were just discussing that. We think that
I don't like when people are like, you're on the TV, and I'm like, huh? TV.
Yeah,
I think that though, that with the shows opening back up, that we think there's probably going to be some folks who run into us that
it'll be fun,
have met before, and they're going to be like, you guys are the idiots from Connections for Life. And I'm going to be like, I'm one of them. Yeah.
Oh, it will happen. I mean, right as the, it was during the pandemic, I was luckily able to go to a blasting demo for abrasive blasting demo. And someone came up to me and a younger person and said, you know, I really enjoy your 2-minute lessons. I really learn a lot from that. And I was like, wow, this is amazing.
I'm still shocked that people watch this, honestly. Like every week I'm like, hey,
this was great.
I guess it's informative. I guess
it's fun. Did you just say this was great and then stop?
Yeah. My internet's choppy.
I thought you paused yourself.
My internet's choppy.
I literally thought you went frozen.
I'll let Joe go to town now and close it out because it looks like I'm
all right. Let's just say goodbye, Jim. It's as always is great seeing you. I know we'll be seeing more of you soon. I can't wait. I assume you'll be at some shows and upcoming events that we're all going to be at coming. You know, the kind of the tail end of the year. So, you know, look forward to catching up with you then, and good luck with everything. And if we can be any help or support, or you want to have all three of us on again to like do this, let us know.
Yeah. The one thing I'm going to work on is I want to have, LinkedIn Super Friends, where we have a big live stream with a bunch of people on it. So I'm working on that currently. I got to do that graphic. So
I want in.
If we can help, let us know. Not with the graphic portion though.
I want to be Kunkle, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Jim. We really appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you again in the very near future.
Thank you.
Wait.
Wow, what a great interview, Jim. One of my favorites to watch. I say that every time, but I mean it every time. So I was extremely happy, extremely excited to have you on our show, and that was awesome.
Why don't you keep talking?
No.
As we discussed in the intro, Teddy's not on his
game this morning.
We should make you talk more. What else you got to say, Ted?
I have to say that I enjoyed my time at the UCT show. That there were some great relationships that were built here.
All right, I shouldn't have asked for that. Jim, for real, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. I love the new build out series. It was awesome being on it. I think you covered some really cool topics, and what you're doing is pretty cool. I don't know, keep it up, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worthwhile, and I think everybody out there enjoys it. So.
Agree with that.
That's all you got?
That's all I have.
I hear that. That's all you have.
I said I agree with that. I
agree with that.
All you got, listen. All you have to do is check out one or two of Jim's shows, and you know what he's all about. And you really don't even have to describe it or anything like that. It's pretty
build out every Wednesday on LinkedIn at noon Eastern.
Yep.
Check it out.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we're not going to compete with that with our LinkedIn Live. We're gonna move our time slot.
That's
why
we're gonna do ours on Saturday at 11 o'clock at night.
That's why. Good luck with that. That's why we didn't record this week and do a LinkedIn Live. We've been trying to figure out a better cadence to do it. It really wasn't working out because of doubling down on Jim's show. So we'll give him that time slot and we'll figure something else out. And I know all of our 7 people that tuned in for last LinkedIn Live are really disappointed.
I know we'll get to our weekly Joe section, but I just wanted to talk about the trade shows that I had coming up real quick. The biggest one to me is August 24th, 25th is KGA. It's probably the first trade show I'll be back at with a booth and things like that. They have over 100 vendors, and I think over 500 people registered now, which is pretty impressive for KGA. If you've ever been to it before, it's usually just a small little show.
That's going to be a bit of a mob scene.
Yeah, in the good old Marriott down there at Griffin Gate.
Griffin Gate, yeah. They're gonna have to take out another divider.
That's funny. But that's probably the biggest one coming up. But then, guys, we have our month of October, which we kind of talk a little bit about every week. We have AGA. That's the first one, which is going to be pretty much one of our biggest shows of the year, or if not the biggest that we're there for. And then a couple weeks later, we have SGA, which we're going to try and do some interesting stuff too with the guys from Jim and James. Both of those things with Jim and James. So that's all I have.
I'll tell you. Speaking of Jim and James, though, like it was honestly really, really great to hear some of the feedback about the two of our shows and their show, our show and their shows over this week here at UCT. There was several people. It really happened. It really did, where they were like, "You guys are doing great on that show. It's awesome. I love your episodes," so or whatever.
You know what's weird about that too is that I don't mean to say this in a messed up way, but like we don't really speak to like the contractor market that much, and you're at a contractor show, like an underground construction show.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit more interesting this kind of when we get into more like distribution.
Yep.
People.
Absolutely.
See how that goes. I don't know. Who knows? But I have a show in 2 weeks. I have the APGA Ops Conference in. I'm just going to go with Albuquerque. It's near Albuquerque, Santa Ana Puebla, New Mexico, if you've ever heard of it. But that'll be kind of fun to get out and about. That'll be my first show since, I think that's my first show since 2018.
2019. Unless you took a year off.
Sorry. I don't know. What year are we in now? Like 22.
And you guys are giving me garbage jokes like I haven't worked since 2018.
No, I really haven't. I wasn't wrong there. You guys corrected me, but you're wrong.
But I have to give a shout out yesterday. Also, Mr. Dan Pajak let me know that yesterday was Joe's 10-year or 11-year anniversary at Upsco.
Yeah, he sent me a little bit of a text on that. Yeah, was it? I don't even know. I thought it was in June, so I'm really.
Yeah, you were mad the whole month of June too.
Not mad. I just know. I'm pretty sure it was June, but
they put you on
neither here nor there.
That was, they made it your official after your 30-day probation.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't think it would last more than a month.
No, Dan said some really nice words, so it was cool to hear from him.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
Do you know what time it is, though?
What?
Do you know what time it is?
Oh,
it's gas
facts. Those gas facts.
Chad got his back screen back for Joe's gas fact.
He brought it with him to the hotel.
Joe's gas fact.
That doesn't surprise me.
Gas fact. Joe's gas fact. There he is. Now I'm getting a much worse picture of you, Joe.
Oh, they're out there. They're out there.
All right, what do you got?
Nothing now. I don't want to skip it. Pass this week.
Pass this week.
So I got another one. It's going to end with a question or interactive thing. So you guys just pay attention. Teddy, look alive.
No.
Stop eating Cheez-Its or whatever it is you're chomping on over there. You couldn't make it for 10 minutes to not eat.
Have you seen me?
I also would like to point out to the audience that when we first got on, Ted's shirt was on inside out. So we had to correct that. I just wanted to say that. We had to correct that little mess.
The Nautica was on the other side.
Now what are you doing? What are you doing now?
What are you doing? Uh-oh.
Oh, you're going to pretend? No, that doesn't fool anybody. You've been better off with a filter.
All right, Joe, go.
All right, so
go.
Low domestic natural gas prices have led to savings of almost $50 billion for customers who have used natural gas for heating, cooking, and clothes drying over the past 4 years. Annual energy costs think about that though, $50 billion. Think about that for a second. Annual energy costs for residential customers using natural gas has been lower than the cost for propane, fuel oil, or electricity since 2010, and it's projected to stay low through 2040. We're in 2021, so that's another 19 years. In the last 10 years, the cost of healthcare, however, is up by 73%. Education is up by 58%. Groceries are up 26%. And households' energy costs have, in the same time frame, decreased by, Chad?
12%.
I knew he was going to say 12.
Ted?
58%. What's the 50%? Is it 53% or something like that? That was my choice. I voted. I remember voting yesterday.
This is not the same poll.
Oh, too many polls then.
All right.
You have multiple choice for this show?
The answer is 11, and I wanted to do this one because I knew it was going to be close to.
You could have rounded up, you know.
12. It's not 11.8. It just says 11. So that was the funny one. But I got one more. So natural gas is a vital part of the solution of reduction of carbon emissions. Teddy, and this is the one where you'll hit on all cylinders here. Not the problem. Pipelines are maintained so well that methane emissions have declined 75% between 2004 and 2015. Think about that. Methane emissions have decreased 75%.
Was that your poll this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guessed right. I guessed correctly.
You did. You got it right.
I guessed, you know, the highest percentage as well.
The highest was 80, so then you did not get it right.
I can
really check. Let's check. Let's do a live check-in.
You should really go back to sleep.
I'm gonna mute both of you. So I'm gonna and then I'm gonna be right.
I'm gonna see what Teddy voted.
I'm the recording guy today.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can't do anything. You have to just stick with it. I got 50 votes on that poll already.
Holy crap, really?
Yeah. Chad, you got 70. Ted, you guessed 80, Ted. You were optimistic.
He's optimistic. Look into the future. Look into the future. I like that.
Mr. Optimistic. Yeah, I got.
That's wonderful.
So I posted that yesterday. I've got a lot of response on this one. Not as many as
I shared it. That's because I shared it. You know.
It's about time you did something.
I'm just saying. I was sitting there in the class and I was like, I'm going to share Joe's poll right now. Of course
you were. So you weren't paying attention to the class. You were drifting off on like that. Anyways.
Would you expect anything less?
I think they've had enough of us.
Yeah,
I think they have as well. This was tremendous. Jim, we thank you for joining our show. We thank you for coming and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us every week. And right now, I just, we look forward to talking to our viewers, having you guys join us, like, click, subscribe, share, all the normal things I ask you to do that we know you don't do for the metrics. So.
And Ted's going back to bed.
I'm more of an Imperial guy.
Wow. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Have a great day. We love you.
Toodles.
See you. Bye.